sports scene in Seattle tonight, and that includes some Friday night Big Ten football with the Huskies from Washington at 4-1. Their only loss against the #1 team in the nation, trying to improve to 2-1 in Big Ten play against Rutgers, who's still looking for Big Ten win #1. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Seattle. Former Ohio State running back Robert Smith and Noah Reed with you. Washington pulled off a thrilling fourth quarter 20-point come-from-behind win last week. Rutgers, meanwhile, their last time out, took a tough loss at Minnesota by 3 points. So the question here, Robert, is how do each of these teams follow that up?
I'm not sure, but I can't wait to find out. I remember asking Coach Holtz about this, like, what's it like, dealing with the emotions of players week to week? And he, answered in the way only he could, like, looked at me like he was insulted by the question. He's like, week to week, they're different from half to half. So after those emotional wins and losses a week ago, flying across the country for Rutgers, I can't wait to see what we see tonight.
Well, half to half, it was very different for Damon Williams Jr. last week, the Washington quarterback. He's really young, just a true sophomore, but you can see that he's getting better and better each week.
Man, this guy is absolutely electric. And really what stood out a week ago at Maryland in the first half, just uncharacteristic bad throws from Damon Williams. And really, the feet are kind of a window into the emotional state of quarterbacks, and when they get a little bit anxious with their feet, they get a little bit erratic with their throws. Settle down in that second half. We'll see what he looks like tonight.
The story is a little bit different on the other side for Rutgers. Ethan Kaliak-Manis, he is experienced. He's been around for a while, a 3.5-year starter, and that confidence is building.
Boy, Kaliak-Manis, not just the confidence, but really the ability to make every throw on the field. You're going to see some NFL-type throws outside of the numbers, a lot of zip. The big thing for me with Rutgers, coming on the road, remember a week ago at Minnesota, sacked 7 times. This is a high-pressure defense, a very tough environment to play. We'll see what that Rutgers offensive line can do tonight.
It's a fun quarterback matchup. Hey, it's a fun Big Ten matchup all the way around. Washington and Rutgers with kickoff coming up next on FS1 from downtown Seattle. A very Seattle weather kind of night tonight on a Friday night in the Big Ten. Temperatures at 61 degrees just ahead of kickoff from Husky Stadium between Washington and Rutgers. Greg Schiano in year 17 overall, 97 and 103 overall. He is in his second stint as the head coach of Rutgers. And on the other side, Jed Fish, season number 2 after a very successful 10-win season a couple years ago at Arizona. He takes over the job here with the Huskies, trying to build them into a contender in the Big Ten.
See, partner, I thought you were going to emphasize the Schiano thing right at the beginning. We learned right before kickoff. Schiano rhymes with piano. Never heard that.
I've heard it announced about 6 different ways. Ben Black calls for the fair catch and a touchback to start the day for this Rutgers offense. Led by Ethan Kaliak-Manis, and you said it in the open, Robert, you are going to see some NFL-type throws from this guy.
Yeah, it's been very impressive with the way that he throws the ball, but it's kind of walking that line as a quarterback, right? You want a guy to be confident, but you don't want him to be careless. He certainly takes some chances with the football, but really the numbers have been pretty good on the season. 9 touchdowns against only 2 interceptions, but he has a talented wide receiving crew. Watch for KJ Duff, number 8, 6'6". What a big, great target for Ethan.
First play of the day, it is a handoff to Antoine Raymond, and he chugs forward for about 4 yards. That offensive line you talked about, Robert, they're crucial tonight.
Yeah, they certainly are. These guys have got to do a better job of protecting Ethan Kaliak-Manis tonight. We talked about it on the road against Minnesota 2 weeks ago. Sacked 7 times. But make no questions about it, especially in loud road environments. Quarterback's best friend, run game. And you know that that's what Greg Schiano wants. And here you see the freedom that Ethan Kaliak-Manis has. Man-to-man look, probably going to take a shot downfield.
Got 4 wide receivers. He gives to Raymond again, who bursts through a hole. He's across midfield with a stiff arm. Down the sideline before he's shoved out of bounds near the 20 by Alex McLaughlin, but a chunk play for Rutgers immediately.
Well, that's why I'm up here. You see that 5 down front. You're going to see that a lot from Ryan Walters, the defensive coordinator, tonight. When you get that 5 down front, the danger that you have, you've only got one linebacker. So if you get through that first layer of the defense, you can produce some big runs.
51 yards from Raymond, who takes a much-earned seat. Jayshon Benjamin, the running back, in to replace him. Kaliak-Manis sips it over the far side. He was looking for Ben Black, who was tripped up a little bit coming out of his break, and it falls incomplete.
Yeah, I couldn't see if that was the turf monster or if he got his feet caught up there on the outside. But yeah, looked like Bryant was in the coverage, but Ben Black not able to get cleanly out of the break. But that's the thing with Kaliak-Manis. He has a lot of trust in his wide receiving core, and why not? Got some great players out there. He throws it a lot of times before those guys are looking.
In his 4th year as a starter between Minnesota and Rutgers, lost it to the sideline. KJ Duff pulls it in for a Rutgers touchdown.
Well, you've got 6'4" Ephesians Prysock playing cornerback for Washington, but you've got 6'6" KJ Duff going up and getting that ball. Kaliak-Manis sees that man-to-man look. Great placement with the football, with the back shoulder. You got 6'6", if you got a chance.
Team-leading 4th receiving touchdown for KJ Duff. An immediate strike for this Rutgers offense, who barely took a minute off the clock to score on the road. Jay Patel on the point after. 7-0 start. Can't ask for much better than that from Rutgers.
Oh, you know that they're loving it. Flying all the way across the country. Big underdogs. Scarlet Knights. First team to ever play in a football game all the way back in 1869 said, hey, bring it up. 7-0.
Rutgers' longest play from scrimmage this season, a 51-yard run from Antoine Raymond, followed by the 20-yard touchdown catch by KJ Duff. And Robert, all it took was 2 explosive plays to get in the end zone.
Well, you talk about the difference in football games. It's the who wins the turnover battle and who's going to produce those explosive plays. Explosives are hard to manufacture, but that's why you give your quarterback freedom to go up to the line of scrimmage and make those kind of changes, which is what we saw from Ethan Kaliak-Manis.
The funny thing about that is Washington's defense is #1 in the country and limiting 40-plus yard plays. This is the return from Adam Mohammed. He got shy of the 15, and then there was a flag thrown in at the end of the return.
Let's see what that
holding. Receiving team number 88. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
What was already a short return becomes even shorter, half the distance to the goal, and Washington's offense, led by Damon Williams, is backed up inside their own 10 to start the day.
Starting deep in their own territory. Remember Jonah Coleman leading the nation in rushing touchdowns on the season. Well, this is the kind of environment. Coming out of your own end zone, probably going to be handing that pill to him quite a bit. Don't want to take too many chances here early. Of course, Damon Williams, with his legs, can also threaten on the edge.
A true dual threat quarterback. Keeps the football. He's got a bunch of open space on this near sideline. Across the 40, gets a great block from Raiden Vines, bright as white receiver, before Henderson tracks him down. An explosive start for the Washington offense.
Well, it reminds me of something that somebody said about Kyler Murray, the quarterback for the Arizona Cardinals. Damon Williams looks like he's a bad little kid, just running away from his parents. Not the biggest guy in the world, but man, is he fun to watch. And you could just feel his acceleration, just so dangerous. And a great play call there by Jimmy Doherty, the offensive coordinator, expecting run up the middle, no QB run.
Says Chris Lawson on the jet sweep, stiff arms the defender, lost the football out of bounds. But it is enough to move the chains on back-to-back plays to start this drive for Washington.
Yeah, in Washington, you're going to see a lot of true freshmen sprinkled around this offense. And Chris Lawson, one of those guys in the San Francisco Bay Area. All kinds of speed. Make no mistake about it, Jed Fish, head coach, and Jimmy Doherty, the offensive coordinator, they know how they want their roster built. They want a lot of those 10-5, 10-4, 100 guys.
41 yards followed by 12 yards on the first two plays tonight for Washington. Jonah Coleman's first carry shakes loose, and he's just tripped up at the last moment near the 25 by Abram Wright. Another first down, 15 yards.
And you see Jaboni lined right up in the middle. But Coleman, with the acceleration, just able to get through that hole. He's known for his power running ability, but make no mistake about it, Jonah Coleman's got some burst.
One more time, it's Coleman, and he's tripped up after a short 2-yard pickup. They're running left side early, Robert, and that's where they have two starters out on the offensive line, so they're running behind those backups and having success.
Yeah, they certainly are. Jet Elad, 9 tackles a couple games ago against Iowa, coming up for the stop there. This Rutgers defense, Rob Smith, the defensive coordinator, not to be confused with Robert Smith, the announcer, has some physical safeties.
Play action, hit as he throws. Great pressure from Eric O'Neill, who's made a living in the backfield for Rutgers this season.
And that was that. Now, this is the guy. Said, who's that alert guy gonna be? And they said O'Neill. He's that guy that stands out on tape. Remember, Maximus McCree in for the injured Carver Willis, the excellent left tackle. And that's what Jimmy Doherty, the offensive coordinator, said to us, that, you know, realistically, we've got to get some kind of help over there. But when you release that tight end, you don't have the help there, and we're not always going to be able to get that chip help from a back.
Williams wants to throw again. Pressure, ball floated in the air, and that could have been terrible news for Washington. Instead, it falls incomplete. Abram Wright had the pressure on Williams to bring up 4th down.
That tremendous pressure off that edge, and Abram Wright, he sees that matchup with the running back, and he's like, okay, let's see. Are you ready for this? Get them feet ready, get that technique ready. And he's able to get just enough pass to knock that ball away.
It's a 39-yard attempt for Grady Gross, who's a perfect 5 for 5 on the season. Good snap, good hold. Here's the kick on the way, and he missed it. 1 point for the announcer's jinx. Washington kept off the scoreboard early. Time for tonight's Game Flow, sponsored by Progressive. Damon Williams in this Washington offense had 3 straight plays that resulted in 3rd downs, but the drive stalled out for the Huskies, and it's Rutgers right now on the road, Robert, up 7-0.
And once again, those big explosive plays. But remember, this is a Rutgers team coming off of the bye week. You get a couple of weeks to prepare. You get a couple of weeks to put in some wrinkles, and it's the chess match that occurs between the defensive coordinator and offensive coordinators. They expect us to do this out of certain looks. Well, we're going to change it up. We'll see how they respond.
Drive number 1 for Rutgers had a 51-yard run and a 20-yard pass. Kaliak Matina snaps it over the middle, batted away. Ephesians Prysock has his team-leading 5th pass breakup of the year.
Boy, you can almost hear him barking all the way up here, too, man. He does a great job getting out of his stance, breaking that pass up. And Ian Strong, another one of those big wide receivers. He's 6'3". They got a really tall receiving core. But remember, Ephesians Prysock, 6'4". That's a huge cornerback.
Dumped off. This is Kenny Fletcher Jr., the tight end, who got clipped down by Mikel Esteen for a short pickup.
Yeah, and this is what defensive coordinators say. Believe what you see. You know, if you see a little, you see a lot. Ryan Walters does a great job preparing them for what's going to come.
They go up tempo on a free play for DT Sheffield. Overthrew him just a little bit, but again,
there's a flag down. We got 2 flags.
Illegal substitution, defense, too many men on the field. 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
There we got some guys running off. More guys running off. Not sure if there was a late substitution on the offense. The defense tried to change it up, and they still look like they don't know what they're doing.
And a tush push here for a 1st down. Yeah, you're right. That Washington defense on back-to-back plays just not ready to go.
Yeah, that was the Rutgers defensive staff that really talked about getting better communication. But I think what you're seeing from this offense, Kirk Shiraka, the offensive coordinator for Rutgers, going with a little bit of tempo, and that really forces a defense to be in the right position, but also to have the right personnel on the field.
1st down, give to Raymond with a cut up the middle. Drives the pile for an extra yard or 2. He picks up 3 on 1st down.
Yeah, and Raymond, another one of those great Scarlet Knight running backs. Isaiah Pacheco, Kyle Monangai. Raymond went for 161 yards in that last game against Minnesota, just 1 short of the Big Ten record held by Kyle Monangai.
He has at least 1 touchdown in every game this season, and in the last 4 games, he's had 2. Been spectacular on the ground. Kaliakmanis with time completes the pass. It's a 1st down. Ian Strong breaking away from tackles down the sideline before he gets ripped out of bounds at the 39. 24 more yards through the air from Kaliakmanis to Strong.
Well, Ian Strong, not just a great receiver with excellent hands, but the run after the catch, you can see the strength, but really the running instincts as well. Almost looks like one of those running backs who, as we know, best athletes, smartest guys, best looking guys on the team. No, but seriously, Ian Strong, just a tremendous job running the football there. For a big guy, has great lateral movement.
Kaliakmanis looking right the whole way. He wanted Strong again, but it was thrown well behind him. You know what else running backs have?
Egos?
Seems like they don't lack any self-confidence.
Yeah, that's you can't afford to lack confidence,
of course
man.
Not.
It's taking a long time to get this play in. Guessing that's not a run. You're kind of on the upper fringes of the red zone, 2nd down. What are you going to see here?
Play clock inside 5. Kaliakmanis into the flat. It's caught. Jayshon Benjamin is ushered out of bounds. 3rd and short coming up for the Scarlet Knights after a 6-yard pickup.
Well, this is what Rutgers offensive coordinator Kirk Shiraka said about Jayshon Benjamin as well. He's that guy. He's got those great hands, and he's certainly elusive. And here we go. Big 3rd down, 3rd and 4, but I wouldn't be surprised here if they didn't make it, if you see them go on 4th down. We got man-to-man matchups out here. We'll see how these guys can hold up.
Kaliakmanis switching the play at the line. 3rd and 4. Rutgers sends a lot. It's a handoff. Raymond's got the 1st down on the far sideline. Lowers the shoulder. The physicality on the run from Antoine Raymond moves the chains after 16 yards.
Well, I would beg to differ just slightly. I would say that's those guys up front. You get a little bit of split zone action, and you just get a hat on a hat. And then we see Antoine Raymond bust out what we call that the steering wheel. When you get that arm up in the air and that thing goes circling around trying to keep your balance. Raymond did a nice job getting up the sideline.
Kaliakmanis dumps it off over the middle. Takes the short completion on the check down.
You never go broke taking a profit. Might have had an opportunity to get that ball a little bit closer to the goal line, but Kaliak-Manis decided to go with the shorter throw. And one of the things Kirk Shiraka, the offensive coordinator, talked about, know when to fold them, means know when to take some chances and know when to move on. You never go bad with short passes.
Antoine Raymond, who just went over 1,000 career rushing yards on his last touch, just gets back to the line of scrimmage this time, and it's 3rd down for Rutgers.
And Ryan Walters, the defensive coordinator for Washington, first year for Purdue head coach. We'll talk more about that later, but he talked about what times do you want to dial up those exotics? And by exotics means some of those looks that they haven't seen. You dial up some pressures that they haven't seen. See these guys sitting back here, right here? You're not giving that pressured look. You bring those guys late, though, and they may not be accounted for in the protection.
Washington sends just 4. Kaliak-Manis has time. Now he's flushed out and throws it away. It's 4th down. Isaiah Ward had the pressure off the edge for the Huskies.
And Ryan Walters said, well, we're just going to sit back. We're going to play coverage here. And they locked up in man. And again, we talked about the decision that Jed Fish had. It was interesting talking to him about his decision to bring Ryan Walters in as a defensive coordinator. And a few of the factors, one of them was wanted a guy that had been a former head coach, but second on that list was a guy that had more experience calling man-to-man type defense. You really have to change those up against these modern offenses. It's 5 yards further.
Game number 74. 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
So a 30-yard field goal becomes a 35-yard field goal.
Mo Giwa plays some left tackle. He's over there on the right side of that field goal formation. Got a little bit anxious in the noise out here. They filled this thing up pretty good for a night where you've got the Mariners playing some playoff baseball.
Winner take all playoff baseball, just a couple miles away from here.
Guardians aren't in it, I don't care anymore.
You're past it, huh? 35-yard attempt here for Jay Patel, trying to give Rutgers a 2-score lead.
Jay Patel's had an up and down season.
This is an up.
He snuck it in.
Kick is through. It's 10-0 Rutgers coming on the road. Off to a great start in Seattle. Well, unfortunately for Jed Fish and company, falling behind early is something they're accustomed to. Just last week, 20-0 in the 3rd quarter, but 24 unanswered, Robert. The thing you'll remember most is the W in the win column.
Yeah, no question about it, but you know, Jed Fish is like, okay, guys, it's funny. Like, you know, we did it before. Felt confident in all of those guys to a man, really, that they would be able to come back in that one, but just don't want to do that too many weeks in a row.
Yeah, his phrase was, it's not highly encouraged in our system to get behind 20-0, but he liked the confidence of his group at halftime and felt that they were going to come out and play better in the second half, and they did.
And that's part of the progression of a program too, right? Like, it's our first Big Ten road win. And it comes in a really tough environment, but then it becomes about what kind of consistency.
After the play was over, personal foul, illegal blindside block, Washington number 2. That penalty being enforced half the distance, 1st and 10, Washington.
Well, again, a penalty to start the drive for Washington. They started their opening drive at their own 7, and this one's being backed up again just outside of their own 10.
Well, Damon Williams said no problem the last time. Went up the sideline for a 42-yard run. See what they can get going here.
A true sophomore quarterback, just his 8th career start, but that true dual threat guy, he's got the ability to do everything. Holds on to it here, and he is swarmed immediately and dropped behind the line of scrimmage. Keyshawn Griffin led the charge for Rutgers.
Well, this is something that we talked about this tilted nose, which is a little bit different. This was actually started by Mean Joe Green, Pittsburgh Steeler, back in the 70s. And those tilted noses can be really difficult to block. It's tough for the centers to reach them. It's tough to get combination blocks. You get somebody with some really good get-off like you have with Keyshawn Griffin, can be in your backfield in a hurry.
Williams under pressure again, takes off with the legs. He always has that ability to turn nothing into something because of the wheels.
But there's nowhere for Damon Williams to go with that football. I think that's what you see there. You just see, you watch downfield, you're going to see some routes plastered, plastered, plastered. Just nowhere for Damon Williams to go. The Rutgers defense, led by defensive coordinator Rob Smith, doing a great job early.
Washington's been great on third down this season. Williams is sacked. Jordan Walker with his first of the season, and this Rutgers defense forces a 3-and-out.
Jordan Walker, 6'4", 268 pounds. And I tell you, when you have those types of mobile quarterbacks, you have a guy like Damon Williams, you really have to be disciplined in the way that you rush. And you don't want to rush past the quarterback. You want to set a trap, especially for a guy like Damon Williams, who's listed at 5'11", which is probably a little bit generous. If you make sure you don't rush past him, it's really hard for that defense or offensive line to hold up.
There is a flag on what is a short punt as DT Sheffield calls for a fair catch to plus 43. Just a 35-yard punt, but we'll check on the marker. It's against Washington.
It's probably an illegal formation.
Illegal formation. 5 in the backfield on the kicking team. 5-yard penalty. Half the distance. Correction, half the distance.
We'll have him punt again. Half the distance to the goal and the penalty.
Kick it again. Why not? Those guys ran down the field. Anytime you get an opportunity to get another return, especially when you've got an athlete like DT Sheffield back returning punts, it's a great opportunity. Coach Shiano, you know, you're probably too young to remember this term, Noah. Beamer ball. But Shiano, he's the one with all the punts, all the big special teams plays. They may go after it. Nope, setting up for the return.
DT Sheffield lets it bounce, and it's picked up near the 30. Rutgers offense is going to have phenomenal field position to start this drive after a 27-yard punt from Luke Dunn.
Yeah, a bit of the Boo Birds coming out here in Washington. Not real happy about that punt. Bit of a slow start. And you would expect, after that big emotional road win, flying all the way across the country, you come back home and you expect to come out with your hair on fire.
2 drives, 2 scoring drives for Rutgers. A touchdown and a field goal, up 10-0, and they start this drive at the plus 32. Kaliak-Manis sends his tight end in motion. Give to Raymond. Short pickup of just a yard here.
Well, not a whole lot, obviously, but you're talking about an offensive line, again, that had struggled to protect Kaliak-Manis on the road in the loss against Minnesota a couple of weeks ago. But just kind of watching these guys, it's so much, as we know in football, comes down to a battle of the trenches. Rutgers doing a great job up front so far tonight.
Kaliak-Manis has time into the flat. That's through the hands of Kenny Fletcher as tight end. It's 3rd and 9 for the Scarlet Knights.
Well, with baseball game going on here tonight, might say that one was pitch selection for Ethan Kaliak-Manis. Just a little bit too much. I think he needed an off speed there. You're throwing to a tight end. Sometimes you take a little bit off of it, especially when it's a shorter throw like that.
Third and 9. Kaliak-Manis climbing the pocket, takes the short completion to DT Sheffield, who is swung to the ground by X-Ray Alexander.
Well, a nice job by Alexander on the tackle, but this is one where DT Sheffield, you want to get vertical. I know you're trying to get that first down, but you want to get vertical as soon as you can. I think if he got vertical as soon as he catches that one, may have had a chance for the first down. And not only did he not get the first down, he made this a longer kick for Patel.
This would be a season long for Jay Patel. He's hit from 44. This one is from 45. Good snap and hold. Here's the kick on the way. And he missed it wide right. Washington's defense gets the stand on short field. Keeps it a 10-0 game. Start your Saturday with a bang. And #1 Ohio State rolls into Big Noon with phenoms Jeremiah Smith and Julian Sayin leading the charge against Illinois. It all starts with Big Noon kickoff back in Champaign for the second time in the last 3 weeks. Then it's Ohio State, Illinois, only on Fox. 9 straight wins in the series for Ohio State, but going on the road against top 20 Illinois. 2007 was the last time the Illini took down Ohio State.
A #1 Ohio State.
There you go.
Coming off national championship loss to LSU. Oh, excuse me, that was the Florida one. It was LSU 2008.
Washington offense that moved the football really well in its opening drive, but missed a field goal, did not come away with any points. Williams, play action, wants to take a shot to the right side. It's Denzel Boston, the leading receiver across the 45. 19 yards.
Boy, this is just a tough route to cover. You get man-to-man on that crossing route. They actually try and pick it up with the zone there with Jet Elad. Trying to plaster to Denzel Boston. You can see why Denzel Boston been so dangerous, leading the team coming in today. 25 catches, 4 touchdowns already on the season.
More than 30% of Williams' pass attempts have gone to him this season. That snap is over his head. Williams has a chance to make something of it and smartly just throws it out of bounds to live another day.
Yeah, there you go. Fortunate that he had a receiver in that area, and this is kind of deja vu for the Rutgers fans at the end of the Minnesota game with the unfortunate snap there that took them out of field goal range. And you see Williams there with the receiver in the area, still in the pocket, able to get that ball away and not lose any yardage.
Delayed handoff, and Rutgers defense read it perfectly. Jordan Thompson in the backfield for a loss of 5.
Boy, that defensive line front for Rutgers, it's not the biggest defensive line that you're going to see, but those guys move very well laterally. And you can see Thompson reading the play extremely well, not getting too aggressive, getting too far upfield, able to fall back and make that play.
Jimmy Doherty's offense has been really good on 3rd down this season, but this is a 3rd and 15. Williams near sideline, too tall, looking for Boston. Cam Miller had the great coverage one-on-one against Boston, and it's 4th down.
When you called it, partner, you know, not a lot of calls in the playbook for 3rd and 15. I remember being in those situations so many times. You watch the screen, watch the draw, but Rutgers and Rob Smith, defensive coordinator, played a little bit soft there.
Oh, nearly got back there to the punter. Sheffield lets it bounce, and it takes a great Washington hop inside the 5, where it's touched up at the 3. A 56-yard punt from Dunn, his season long. Well, Rutgers team that's looking to rebuild again. Greg Schiano in his first stint at Rutgers inherited a slow start, 12-34, but then it took off from there. 36 and 63 in the 8 years without him. He comes back in 2020. Again, it took 3 years to get going, but this is a Rutgers team that's headed in the right direction, Robert.
Yeah, it certainly is. And it's been a lot of fun to watch his career, and it's about 20 years in this business for me. So I've seen a lot of Schiano, and great to see him back at Rutgers and what he's able to do with this program.
Fake the handoff. Kaliak-Manis, it was almost picked off. Takario Davis, who's back in the lineup for the first time since week 2, almost had the pick.
Oh, and the Dogs fans are happy about that. Look, such a great break on that football.
Oh,
and
man.
Hey, the best cornerbacks, they are so good at understanding what receivers are doing. And he started breaking out before he even got his eyes back on that one. He said, hey, if I get here, I know I'm going to have a chance.
Here's the give. Raymond bouncing off some tacklers, and he picks up a little bit of space for that Rutgers offense out to the 6. But it's still 3rd and long coming up at the end of quarter number 1. Rutgers off to a great start on the road. 2 scoring drives early has them up 10-0 after 1. The sports world is revolving around downtown Seattle tonight. About 6 miles south of here, ALDS Game 6 with the Tigers leading the Mariners in the 6th inning. But right here inside Husky Stadium, we got Big Ten football on a Friday night with Rutgers on the road up 10-0. But a 3rd and 7 coming up, backed up against their own end zone. Kaliak-Manis pumps, completes the pass. That's his running back, Antoine Raymond, who stopped near the 10. Oh, they're saying the ball hit the ground. It's incomplete. Either way, it's 4th down.
Yeah, plenty of room for the punter. I was going to say, well, punter's not going to have enough space. But he's okay. Got a full drop back there. Doesn't look like Washington's coming for this. He's setting up for a return.
Short punt. Boston lets it hop. It does take a nice Rutgers bounce to the other side of midfield, and that's where it's touched up right at the 50 after a 43-yard punt.
I expect this Washington offense to get this run game going. You know what Jonah Coleman can do, and his backup Adam Muhammad. No better way to get your offense sparked. You look at that game, that second half against Maryland, and early in that game against Ohio State. That run game, big key to what the Huskies were able to do offensively. Start imposing your will. But guessing again here on the length of time in the huddle, sounds like that's, or it looks like that's more of a pass type call coming out of the huddle. We'll see.
Adam Muhammad is the fake handoff. It's kept by Damon Williams, who's got the sideline, tiptoes it before he escorts himself out of bounds near the 25.
Boy, what a weapon this guy's legs are. Just speed to burn. And talk about the difficulty in defending a guy like that. You can do everything right against a quarterback like Damon Williams. You can be in the right position, but he just has the speed to outrun angles, to run completely around guys. It's a lot of fun to watch unless you're playing against him or a defensive coordinator.
Already 62 yards on the ground in the first quarter plus. This time he does give to Adam Muhammad, who drags a defender with him inside the 25 for just a yard. It's Abram Wright, who's already been in on 3 tackles today for Rutgers.
With Abram Wright coming from his linebacker spot, just vicious. Triggers immediately, fighting through blocks. You know what kind of mentality Greg Schiano is going to have for his team showing up on the road, especially after 2 losses in a bye week.
Williams floats it into one-on-one coverage down the sideline for Denzel Boston. It's a touchdown. Fifth of the year for Boston. First touchdown today for Washington.
I want you to watch the hands of Denzel Boston. Look at that. Look at the way that he uses those strong hands to keep that ball away from the defender, Jacoby Henderson. Because he doesn't try and pull that ball in right away, Henderson's not able to knock it away. Just a tremendous play, but a great throw and placement from Damon Williams.
9th touchdown pass this season for Williams. It's a 23-yarder to Boston, and the point after makes it a 3-point game. There is a late flag that we got to check on here after the Denzel Boston touchdown catch.
Personal foul, number 74. That penalty will be enforced on the kickoff.
Well, Washington with a quick response, just 3 plays to go 50 yards in their first score of the night. Downtown Seattle for a Friday night in the Big Ten, and it's lived up to it so far. After this Washington team took advantage of short field position, put themselves on the board for the first time after a 3-play drive that was capped off by a 23-yard touchdown catch by Boston, and it was a great catch too.
Yeah, it was a great catch, but I love the throw and the chance that Damon Williams took there. And Jimmy Doherty, the offensive coordinator for Washington, said to Damon, like, it's okay to take those 50-50 chances. We know you got a great touchdown to interception ratio, but we want you to take some of those chances, especially with receivers like Boston.
Short kickoff, it's taken by Ben Black inside the 5. Ooh, skates away from 1. There's a flag that comes in at the end of the return near the 30. It is a 24-yard return for the time being.
Holding. Returning team, number 29. 10-yard penalty from the end of the run. 1st and 10.
Ethan Kaliak-Manis and this Rutgers offense had 2 scoring drives in their first 2, but last time out struggled to move the football, had to punt it away, which gave Washington great field position, and they turned that into 7 points.
Much like that first half that Washington had on the road against Maryland, where Maryland moved the ball. Ryan Walters, first year as a defensive coordinator, so first year in this scheme, making some good adjustments, it seems, early.
First down handoff to Benjamin, pushes the pile across the 25. A 7-yard pickup on the first play of the drive for Rutgers.
Well, that's a heck of a drive starter right there if you're Rutgers. Just imposing your will. And that's kind of the chopping wood mentality right there. You get that run game going. We've seen so many times when Rutgers is at their best, that run game is humming, but it all starts up front.
Such a deep running back room, too. They have 3 guys who get a lot of touches on a weekly basis. Kaliak-Manis keeps it himself and dives across the 30 for a first down.
Well, and I love the play design here. You're going to see Kenny Fletcher come out into the flat. Could be an option there, but because Kaliak-Manis really is a strong runner as well. You see this so many times. You see that slide route where the quarterback hits it. That takes Devin Bryant's eyes out to the flat. Callie McManus able to sneak underneath for a nice gain.
It's a first down for Callie McManus, who has great protection. Scans, throws to the sideline. Oh, it was picked off. There is a flag. Tacario Davis, who nearly had one earlier, has an interception, but will it hold up?
Yeah, I think
and it doesn't look like it.
Yeah, it looked like somebody interfered with Strong on that play.
Pass interference. Defense number 8. 15-yard penalty. Previous spot. Automatic first down.
He's probably going to get that hand as he's trying to break out of the route there. Well, I didn't see it there. That doesn't look like a penalty to me. I mean, it's just regular hand fighting. It doesn't materially impede, doesn't turn Strong on that play. Strong just breaks out and he has his hands on him. It doesn't look like he's holding him. We have rules experts maybe we can refer to on that at some point, but that didn't look like interference to me.
Rutgers catches the break. They keep the drive alive. Callie McManus flush to the right, escapes the pocket, tucks the football, and he tried to duck underneath the tackler. He couldn't. It was Bryce Butler leading the charge there for Washington in a loss of 3.
And Ryan Walters dials up a little bit of pressure from Devin Bryant, linebacker. You get those late 8 gap blitzes, and that's going to be the running back only that's going to have to take that thing on. So quarterbacks know that they need to stay calm and probably going to need to move a little bit, and that's what you saw from Callie McManus, but nowhere to go on the edge. This place is starting to get loud. I expect to see more pressure from the Husky defense.
Second and deep, they send just 4. It's a completion and a first down to Ian Strong across the 40.
But we talk about the feet being a window into the mind of the quarterback. Look how calm Ethan Callie McManus is in the pocket, gets the top of his drop. Eyes start off to the left. Gets them back and just delivers an absolute dime. Well, he's really been impressive, and I think Kurt Shiraka, the offensive coordinator, said he knew he didn't have the job when he came over here. He's really grown into this position.
Wants to throw again, off his back foot, and it's knocked away. Tacario Davis with the coverage. Nearly had the interception a couple plays ago. He knocks the ball away here to bring up second and long.
Boy, I love the way that Tacario Davis plays the game. And, you know, with a guy that's been away for a while, too, you know he's going to come in. He's going to be all fired up. And you can tell the way that he plays the position, he's going to push the rules as far as he can. And, again, I'm not so sure that that other one was interference. But tremendous positioning right there. And understanding that he needs to be in position without getting there early, knocking that thing away. Tacario, another one of those 6'4" cornerbacks, just like Bryce.
Juggled, incomplete. It's Colin Weber, the tight end, who was trying to make the catch while stumbling backwards.
Well, again, on the night of the ALDS, right? ALDS? 6?
Correct.
Game 6? Okay. Make sure I had the right. Make sure I had the right. Game 5. Make sure I had the right time of year.
If they go 6 games in the ALDS, that's impressive in a 5-game series.
Well, what I was going to say again, pitch selection again. We've seen that from Callie McManus. Big third down here. Got to make sure you get an open running back or tight end. Don't put too much heat on it.
3rd and 10. Callie McManus dumps it off over the middle. DT Sheffield took a hit near the 29. That's the line to gain, and it is just enough to keep the drive going after 11 yards.
Man, I love watching DT Sheffield. They say it's not the size of the dog in the fight, it's the size of the fight in the dog. And this is a guy, just tremendous hands, and he knows he's going to take the big hit going over the middle. And Hall of Famer Chris Carter, former teammate of mine, said it best: going across the middle makes the great ones average and the average one pathetic. DT Sheffield, no fear, taking the big hit.
Callie McManus lofts it left side, looking for Strong. It's incomplete. Ephesians Prysock again on the coverage. He's made a couple nice plays in one-on-one today.
Yeah, those cornerbacks aren't scared to talk now. Cario Davis, Ephesians Prysock, 6'4", just like a Reek Woolen plays for the Seahawks. 6'4" cornerbacks are rare, but tremendous coverage and a great job using the sideline as an extra defender. A little bit of jaw, and the referee had to step in there.
Ninth play of the drive. Kaliak-Manis snaps it to the near side. It's pulled in by Ian Strong.
Yeah, and that's really just another way to run the triple option. He's got an option to run that thing himself, throw it to Kenny Fletcher, the tight end. Coming out, he can hand that off. It's almost like quadruple option because he's got a couple of passing options.
This is now the 10th play of the drive for Rutgers. The 18th drive this season of at least 10 plays. That's third most in all of college football. They are so good at holding on to the football. Raymond with a stutter step tried to cut back up the middle, but he only got back to the line of scrimmage before Deshaun Lynch made the stop.
We talked about that Rutgers offensive line trying to get that push. But Deshaun Lynch, big tackle for loss. We could go in that Maryland game. He's got some power and some burst for a big man.
DT Sheffield right over the middle again. Football came out. Washington says they've got it. And the signal is they do. Alex McLaughlin coming away with the football for Washington, and they force a turnover in the red zone.
It doesn't seem like there's much argument from DT Sheffield. Question is, so many times though, did he have possession of the ball? I think that he had that ball pulled in. We're going to stick with the fumble.
Alex McLaughlin ripping the football away from DT Sheffield. Washington ball next. Well, Washington thought they had a red zone turnover, but while we were at the break, they overturned this call as we bring in our rules expert, Mike Pereira. And Mike, that looked like that knee was clearly down for DT Sheffield.
Yeah, we in here thought that they had stripped the ball away, but there's a lot of camera angles. We call this one ISO 4 that actually shows the left knee's on the ground and that he has control of the ball. Good job by replay.
Well, Mike, Rutgers fans are certainly thankful for ISO 4 to show that. Rutgers holds on to the football. They're inside the 10 with a chance to take a 2-score lead. Kaliak-Manis fake to right, now uses the legs. He lowers the shoulder down to the 6. It is 4th down for the Scarlet Knights.
I don't see a lot of movement from the sideline onto the field, at least not by a kicking unit. You come on the road. Oh, there we go. We're gonna keep him out there.
Yeah, offense is staying on the field. You like that call with the ball at the 6?
Absolutely. Be aggressive. Come on the road. Go do it, especially after 2 consecutive losses. Come on the road and be aggressive at the very least.
Rutgers, first charge of the half.
Well, with the play clock winding down, Rutgers is going to take their first timeout.
Yeah, at the very least. You don't get the first down and you have the Huskies in a bad situation deep in their own territory. Why not be aggressive here?
Ryan Walters' defense trying to draw something up here to get a 4th down stop, keep Rutgers off the scoreboard.
Well, you know, and we've seen already tonight, touchdown reception by KJ Duff matched up against Ephesians Prysock. Ephesians Prysock, 6'4". KJ Duff, 6'6". Right, jump balls for him, even if he doesn't bring that thing in. kind of see the way that the officials are calling interference tonight. Maybe you take a chance, find your big wide receiver, KJ Duff. He's going to be lined up on the right side of Kelly McManus. Looks like Dacario Davis is going to be in coverage.
Top of your screen right there. That's where KJ Duff is, who already has a touchdown catch tonight. Kaliak Manis to the running back. It's batted at the line of scrimmage, and a 4th down stop for the Washington defense.
Looks like this is Deshaun Lynch. Made a big play earlier. Watching the hands of Kaliak Manis the entire time. He knows he's not going to get home, but he's going to get paid in full, like Eric B. and Rakim. He gets those arms up. Huskies get the ball back.
How about those Giants last night?
Man,
over the Eagles.
Jackson Dart, yeah. Wake-up call in the NFC East.
Washington's 2nd drive tonight that started inside their own 10, but they'll take it because they got a 4th down stop on the last play. Now the offense on the field. Jonah Coleman, he's swung to the ground after just a short 1-yard pickup by Jordan Thompson.
We've talked about that tilted nose tackle position that Rob Smith, the defensive coordinator for Rutgers, liked to use. That time it was Jordan Thompson lined up in there, and you can see why they want to use that. Normally could get some penetration pretty quickly along defensive line, and that type of penetration just kills running plays.
Timeout taken ahead of the snap by Washington.
First charge of the half. 30-second timeout.
Well, you were talking about that tilted nose just a moment ago, Robert. What is it that makes it so difficult to block?
Well, you see what happens is he's not lined up head up. He's kind of at an angle, and it makes it difficult. Sometimes they have him going at the snapping hand, sometimes away from it, but it's very difficult to get a combination block there. And at the snap, a lot of times you see with those tilted noses, they can jump into gaps really quickly, and either a gap, you get that kind of penetration, and no matter where you're running the football, it's going to cause some problems.
They've held Jonah Coleman to just 15 yards on the ground tonight. He averages almost 100 a game. Empty backfield. Williams cuts upfield to avoid a tackle for loss, but then he gets dragged down right at the line of scrimmage. That Rutgers defensive front has been fantastic tonight.
Yeah, and there are different types of defensive line philosophy. Sometimes you're going to have guys that are reading, and they're not going to be getting upfield. That's not what you're seeing here. I mean, you saw Bradley Weaver, Jordan Thompson, that defensive front, those guys are getting vertical. I expect Washington to try some screen game at some point.
There is a flag. The throw to the far sideline is caught. Decker to Graff, the tight end, has the first down for Washington.
I think this
Offside, defense number 24. The penalty is declined. First down.
What a season Decker DeGraff has had. You're going to watch him come all the way across here. 13 catches coming into today. Matched up against Jacoby Henderson. Got a 5'11" cornerback against 6'4" tight end. Bad combination.
Time for Williams. Throws against his body. Denzel Boston with the catch, and another Huskies first down. 13 yards here to move the chains.
Boy, I just love the poise in the pocket here from Damon Williams. And with running quarterbacks, guys that have the ability to take off pretty much any time they want, sometimes that's what they do, right? Especially when they see that pressure, they have the tendency to panic and just take off. He does a nice job sliding where he needs to.
He's got the football out across the 45 before Bo Masco tracks him down. He does use the legs that time for a nice pickup on first down of 7 yards.
But I was saying, he just so poised with the way that he moved in the pocket, kept his eyes downfield, and was able to find his streaking Denzel Boston. Nice job throwing the ball on the run, but getting his feet set just enough to make an accurate throw. And then, of course, on that next play, that last play right there, as you mentioned, partner, so dangerous with his legs. Second and short, chance to take a shot.
It's Jonah Coleman, who was used out of the fullback position that time. He's about a yard shy of the line to gain, so it brings up 3rd and short.
Boy, credit again to this Rutgers defensive line. They've really muddled the middle of the line of scrimmage up all day long. See big Zaire and Goy there. Got a couple of those 300-pounders, but most of the other guys, they don't have necessarily the size, but they've got that quickness. Makes it tough for offensive linemen to get off, catch them cleanly.
3rd and 1, Coleman plunging forward. He's got enough. It's a first down for Washington.
When we talk about Decker DeGraff's passing or pass catching ability, it's a nice block on that one as well. Those are the most dangerous tight ends that you get, when you get those tight ends that are true blocking threats and true receiving threats. Tough to get the matchups you need against them. Going heavy in the box this time.
Fake the handoff. Damon Williams stepping up, rolls left, throws against his body. It's caught. It's a first down for Desmond Roebuck, the true freshman out of Arizona.
Boy, and Roebuck was the guy that they had been watching playing down in the Tucson area when they were down at the University of Arizona, Jed Fish and his staff. And Roebuck does a nice job escaping there, and Al-Shadi Salam in coverage. Looked like he got his feet a little caught up, but Damon Williams did a nice job locating his receiver.
Williams this time holds on to the football with a cut, and he's ripped down inside the 5.
He lost the ball.
And Rutgers says they have it. That's the signal too. Rutgers football. Wow. Greg Schiano loving it.
Two-minute timeout.
Well, you're always supposed to have 2 hands on the ball in traffic. You don't see that from Damon Williams right there. Rutgers with the big turnover.
A 91-yard drive that results in no points for Washington because the quarterback, Damon Williams Jr., fumbles it at the 3. So Rutgers is backed up against their own goal line, but it's the defense that bailed him out there, Robert.
Yeah, it's the defense that bailed him out. And remember, Rutgers had driven deep into Washington territory and didn't convert on a 4th down. Big flip of the field.
Final 2 minutes of this first half with Rutgers up 3, looking for their first win in Big Ten play. And there is a flag to blow the play dead. And if you can get any closer to the goal line, Rutgers will.
56, half the distance to the goal, still first down.
It's on the left tackle, Tyler Needham. Got a little bit anxious in his stance, and it's loud here at Husky Stadium. And what we've seen again from this Rutgers offense, Ethan Kaliakmanis looking to change the run, looked like he was going to change it to run again. But the defense for Washington shifted.
Kaliakmanis has to get rid of it in a hurry. Down the far sideline, it's caught. Ian Strong. What a throw from Kaliakmanis.
What a throw from Kaliakmanis, and great concentration from Ian Strong, because believe me, he knows that those footsteps of the safety, Alex McLaughlin, are coming over.
Kaliakmanis has a man again. It's DT Sheffield. Just shy of the 20. Back-to-back massive plays for Rutgers when the ball was at the 1.5-yard line.
Wow. Kind of get that little switch. 0-on-0 crime. Get that corner out, running it from that slot position. And we've talked about DT Sheffield. What a great versatile threat he is. Leroy Bryant, number 0 on the other side for the Huskies, couldn't stay with him.
So 41-yard completion. They go to the ground with Raymond. He tried to cut up field and picks up about 2 yards down to the 20 before X-Ray Alexander makes the stop.
Boy, it doesn't look like much, but especially as you get into the red zone here, just that couple of extra yards. And talk about it in a minute here.
Kaliakmanis dumps it off over the middle. That's Kenny Fletcher, the tight end. He's inside the 15, and it's a first down for Rutgers after 9 yards.
Get that delayed release. Talk about the danger of having tight ends that are run and receiving threats.
Kaliakmanis holds on to it. He slipped. He might have been down.
Yeah, I think his right knee goes down. So he's going out here, and we've seen this play before where Fletcher, the tight end, comes across, and they've done a nice job matching on the back end, both McLaughlin and Prysock.
They said incompletion, so must have got rid of the football before his knee was down. I thought that was awfully close.
They're going to take a look at this. That knee was down.
Yeah, I think so too.
It's a mayday because of his.
Sounded like he was explaining why they were going to take the yardage off there. Wait a second. Not so fast.
Previous play is under further review to assess whether the quarterback's knee was down.
And I think they're probably going to come away with this one saying that his knee was down. Yeah, right
Yep,
there.
There you go, all the way. I don't know if that was the camera 4 angle. Camera 4 angle giveth and it taketh away, apparently. I think that was a review that worked out for Rutgers previously. This time the review is not going to go for them.
I think the other thing,
because it was the fumble. It was the one that wasn't a fumble. This time the knee being down is a bad thing for Rutgers, because it's going to cost them a few yards. That ball doesn't get out.
and the other thing they'll be looking at here too is the clock, because the one official called it incomplete, but they kept the clock running. But again, you're going to come back to it here with his knee on the ground too, so it's going to be a loss of yardage.
Yeah, I think you're right, partner, because the review of that aspect of the play seems to be pretty clear.
Yeah.
And they're certainly taking their time under the hood here.
Oh, we got Mike Pereira on hand. We're going to bring him in again. And Mike, what are you seeing on that play right there?
Well, clearly you can see that his knee is down before he gets rid of the ball. So they have to look at that aspect. It was a 113, and now you could have 10-second runoff possibilities.
After further review, the quarterback's knee was down at the 16-yard line. Please reset the game clock to 1 minute, 13 seconds. The runner's knee down invokes a 10-second subtraction, so we will put the game clock at 1:03. The clock will start on my signal.
The one thing he needs to also think about is that either team can save that runoff with the timeout. So if they wanted to do that, they could.
Oh, Mike, you nailed that one on the head. The knee was down, the 10-second runoff. Clock is at 1:03. Thanks to a couple big plays, including a 41-yard pass in this drive, Rutgers has a chance to add points before halftime.
Sheffield in the slot.
Kaliak-Manis looking left, steps through the pressure, batted at the line of scrimmage. Elenius Davis, the sophomore, gets his hand up there to bat the football down.
Elenius Davis does a tremendous job, but Kaliak-Manis just locks in the entire time. Look at the eyes here. He's looking the whole time here, and those defensive linemen, they know where you're going. If they know where you're going with the football, the better the chance they have to get that big paw up there, match the hand as you're trying to throw the ball, and get that pass break up.
Third down. Kaliak-Manis, a suffocating pocket, and he's sacked. Tai Uwvideo leads the charge for that Washington defense.
Boy, and Tai Uwvideo gonna come from this side, and look at that. That's low man wins all the way. Brian Felter, the left guard, tries to anchor there, but because Uwvideo is able to get low and start that push early, he just backs him all the way up, gets him into position. Like a big sumo battle there, man. You love those battles. In the trenches, big men giving work.
It's a 37-yard attempt for Jay Patel, who's hit from 35 and missed from 45 today. This one to give Rutgers a 6-point lead with less than a minute before halftime. Kick is up and on the way, and he drives it straight down the middle for his second made field goal of the day to make it 13-7. We got Mike Hill in the studio. Halftime report coming up soon. Mike, what do you got for us now?
Coming up on the FS1 College Football Halftime Show, we'll preview a huge weekend with Oregon battling Indiana in a top 10 matchup. Alabama looks to stay hot, and #1 Ohio State takes center stage on Big Noon Kickoff. Going Robert. See you fellas at the half.
Mike, thank you. That's the #1 Ohio State team on the road in Champaign. Big Noon Kickoff tomorrow. Got some great Big Ten football coming up tomorrow.
And for those that don't remember, got some split allegiances. We got some split allegiances on this broadcast crew. Probably some people hoping that just by bringing up certain graphics, let's remind people of the graphic. The last time Illinois beat Ohio State, 2007, when Ohio State was also #1.
That would be one Brad Weimer, our producer, a Michigan man. Certainly he's not trying to jinx Ohio State, is he?
No, he'd never do that.
Adam Muhammad back to return the kick. They will not get a chance. It's a touchback. See what this Washington offense does. Just 39 seconds, one timeout before halftime. They will get the football coming out of the third quarter. Damon Williams had the fumble on the last drive at the 3, right before the goal line.
And they're looking at this saying 6 points. We're down 20-0 with less than 5 minutes to go in the third quarter a week ago. We're fine. But Damon Williams, you know, you just hate those kind of plays. Nowhere to hide after you fumble the ball like that. But as the quarterback, get the ball every single play, get an opportunity to redeem yourself.
Williams is looking to throw. Climbing the pocket, takes off, throws on the run, pass is caught by Amari Evans, his first today.
Looks like he lost it.
Yeah, football was on the ground. What an opportunity this could be for Rutgers. Let's see.
Rutgers has it. There's no way Evans got that. Well, I shouldn't say no way. I would be surprised if Evans got that thing bought. Yeah, it's taking a long time. Wow. I don't know how he got it back.
But he did. Washington football avoiding disaster.
Houdini, Omari, somehow he got that ball back because it looked like there were about 4 Scarlet Knights all around him. Well, you watch that ball, oh, it just kind of fell right by his leg. Okay.
Well, 13 yards, first down. Washington keeps the football.
Got
Over
him.
the middle, it's caught. Raiden Vines Bright with the first down. He's down to the 30, and Washington's cooking right before halftime.
The entire field is open to you still. You've got that one timeout.
And Rutgers will take one of their 2 remaining timeouts after the 30-yard pitch and catch from Williams to Vines Bright.
God, Rutgers calls the timeout there.
Rutgers, second charged. Please reset the game clock to 17 seconds. 1-7.
Nice poise in the pocket. Van Bright, another one of those true freshmen, also from Arizona. Boy, and they love those young players that they have, but they also talked about the number of players that they brought from Arizona, that they either brought or that they recruited from Arizona. You know, I asked Jed Fish, are you surprised, you know, after the 6 and 7 season, kind of how you guys have been able to turn things around? You're surprised that you're able to start this fast. But he mentioned bringing those players from Arizona and what a key they were. The players that they had as players, the guys that they had as players, but the people that they were recruiting.
Yeah, he said
I was just going to say, they had a good chance to watch some of those guys like Van Bright in person down there in Arizona.
He said those guys from Arizona, whether they were the well, we'll get the right number eventually.
Little discussion.
Jed Fish didn't love that they took 2 extra seconds off the clock, but 14 seconds. Washington has 1 timeout. Ball at the 32.
He had that unsportsmanlike against Ohio State. He's fired up. Not taking it.
Caught over the middle. Desmond Roebuck, the other one of those true freshmen starting wide receivers.
Boy, that's a huge play right there. You get that one timeout, you got to call it now.
Third and final of the half, 30 seconds.
Well, this gives you an opportunity to take a shot at the end zone or something. There's really no point. You're only going to have 2 plays. So you take a shot to the end zone here. Got the time. Run 6-7 seconds off the clock, but plenty of time to attempt the field goal if you don't get a touchdown or get some sort of interference call. Well, they're going to kick it. Nope.
Offense stay on the field.
Yeah, I saw the kicker warming up, but no, I don't think they're going to do that. That's why you use the timeout.
Enough time to take a shot at the end zone here. Also, to get it across the 8. Clock would stop momentarily, but again, no timeouts left for Washington.
Yeah, and this has to be an end zone shot. Something along the sidelines, and again, there's no point in doing that, really. You cannot get caught in the middle of the field or take a sack.
They do look to the end zone for Boston, who has a touchdown tonight. Fans wanted a flag. They don't get one. It's an incomplete pass. And now here comes the field goal unit with 4 seconds before halftime.
The fans may have had a case on that one, but you know, as they say, the defensive backs and the wide receivers, they need to figure out how business is being done on certain days.
Third and final of the half.
It seems like the officials are letting them be a little bit physical here.
Rutgers taking its final timeout, allowing Grady Gross to think about it a little bit longer. Chance for Washington to pull within a field goal, plus they get the football back out of the third quarter, so an opportunity to double up.
It's another guy from Arizona, Grady, right out of Scottsdale.
A 36-yard attempt here for Gross. He missed from 39 earlier tonight. That was his first miss of the season. Right before halftime to pull within a field goal. And he got it straight down the middle. Well, Jed Fish and company pull within 3 points at halftime. What a fun first half we have here in Seattle.
This was awesome, and we were wondering, after the high emotions of winning on the road and a comeback win for Washington, and the low emotions after the bye week for Rutgers, what would we see? We've seen some great action, and it's their prerogative, as Bobby Brown says.
Halftime show with Mike Hill and company next. A 13-10 lead for Rutgers on the road at halftime against Washington, with both teams creeping up near 300 yards of total offense apiece in the first two quarters. We welcome you back inside the booth. Robert Smith, Noah Reed with you. In a game that features 564 yards of total offense between these two teams, you would think the score would be different than 13-10, but a couple red zone turnovers, a couple missed field goals, and that's exactly what we have.
Yeah, and you look at the yardage total for Washington, and you consider they only had 80 yards in that first quarter. They really came to life in that second quarter, but you got to be able to finish those drives.
198 of those yards for Washington the first half came in the second quarter, so really came to life, but fumbled the football at the 3-yard line with a chance to go into the end zone. Has them down 3 at the start of the third quarter.
Yeah, I'm excited to see kind of what these adjustments are going to be, and of course, Washington on the road a week ago, big road win against Maryland, and Rutgers coming off a bye week had some early success, probably because they were throwing some things at Washington that they had not seen on film. And of course, them being on a short week, interested to see what kind of adjustments both of these staffs made at halftime.
Jed Fish's team really struggled out of the gate, but 198 yards in the second quarter alone, all 10 of their points to pull within 3. Greg Schiano's Rutgers Scarlet Knights. And it is Washington who scored a field goal right as time expired at the end of the second quarter. They've got a chance to double dip here, getting the football to start the third. Adam Mohammed from just outside of the goal line. Straight up the middle, breaks a tackle, and he got planted at the 25. And that's where the drive starts for Damon Williams Jr., who you just said it a little bit ago, Robert, but especially in that second quarter, you could tell he started feeling a lot more comfortable running this offense.
Yeah, running the offense, running the football as well. And I think that that's really notable in that first half. Damon Williams led this Husky offense in rushing yardage. And Jonah Williams, bit of a slow first half, talking about nation's leader in rushing touchdown, only 19 yards, 6 carries in that first half.
Well, on the jet sweep, it's the true freshman, Raiden Vines-Bright, breaks a tackle, and he gets pushed out of bounds near the 40 on a great pickup on the opening play of the third quarter of 12 yards.
Yeah, a great pickup, and it was Jonah Coleman coming from his running back position. Was a lead blocker, being very unselfish, and talking to Scotty Graham, the running back coach, been a friend of mine since I was 16 years old, played with him at Ohio State with the Minnesota Vikings, but he's a running back coach. He just talked about the work ethic of Jonah Coleman, such a selfless player.
First pass of the quarter, Williams launches over the middle, wide open man, Desmond Roebuck spins away from a tackler. Oh, what a move! Roebuck inside the 5 before he's finally dragged down by Cam Miller. 59 yards on a big strike to the freshman.
Desmond Roebuck, the true freshman. They talked about the way that he has emerged. Touchdown that game against Maryland a week ago. Tremendous move for the extra yardage.
Jonah Coleman pushing the pile to the goal line, and he stopped just shy inside the 1.
Notable that this Washington offense scored on 2 of their last 3 drives of that first half. And the only one that they didn't score on was when Damon Williams had the fumble inside the 10-yard line. Moving the ball quickly here. I suspect Jonah Williams came into the game 10 touchdowns on the year. They're going to try and get him number 11 right here.
It is Coleman straight up the gut, and the nation's leader in total touchdowns adds 1 more.
Doesn't need to be anything fancy. Get DeGraff leading from the backside. Jonah Coleman just following the posse into Pater.
Washington's first lead of the day comes less than 2 minutes into the 3rd quarter on a quick 4-play drive, headlined by a 59-yard catch and run by Desmond Roebuck and a rushing touchdown of 1 yard for number 1. Jonah Coleman's nation-leading 11th rushing touchdown of the season has given Washington its first lead, and the Huskies have scored on 3 of their last 4 drives now, Robert.
Yeah, there's my man, Scotty Graham, the gray beard. Known Scotty since I was about 15 years old on my first trip down there to Ohio State, and Ron Hudson was the quarterback's coach and recruiting me. And remember, he went up and talked to my mother. He said, "Look at this guy's calves. It's going to be blocking for your son. Like, you got to send him here."
Smart move. First time tonight that Rutgers has faced a deficit, jumped out to a 10-0 lead, but it's a 17-3 run since then for Washington.
And really some early success, and we saw some of it late in that first half from this past game of the Scarlet Knights. We'll see if they can continue that here into the second half. Be interested to see if Ryan Walters, defensive coordinator, tries to bring a little bit more pressure. But again, seeing some confusion out of this Washington defense.
It's a handoff. Antoine Raymond crawls forward for about a yard. Alex McLaughlin comes in from his safety spot to make the tackle, the leading tackler this year for Washington.
Yeah, and remember Jacob Manu, the excellent linebacker that had his first game back from an ACL injury against Ohio State. Tremendous game last game. They've got him sitting out tonight because of redshirt rules. They need to pick and choose how many games they're going to play him this season. He's only going to play 4 games, not playing tonight. So maybe some communication issues at linebacker.
Kaliak Manis into the flat. Raymond is pummeled immediately. Devin Bryant with the hit, and it's 3rd down for the Scarlet Knights.
Boy, that Washington defense just flying around. Maybe had some communication errors, but post-snap, no confusion at all. Breaking on everything quickly. Ryan Walters, a tremendous defensive coordinator, tremendous defensive mind. A head coach at Purdue a season ago. He has these guys dialed in early.
A lot of success in this late. He was also a defensive coordinator at Illinois. Pass is caught. Ian Strong stretching to the outside. He cannot find the marker, and it's 4th down.
X-Ray Alexander. Oh, we got a flag.
Extracurriculars on that sideline. Multiple flags flew in.
Yeah, Rashawn Clark and X-Ray Alexander went in there for the tackle, and I think that's Rashawn on the ground there. It's great when you get the mics open and you can hear a little bit of the conversation.
Somebody
he hit me.
Yep, somebody hit somebody.
I know I hit him, but he hit me first. Second guy.
Always.
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct number 54, Rutgers, hitting an opponent in the bench area. 15-yard penalty, down counts, 4th down.
It's Taj White, the right tackle.
Here he is, you can see. Oh, yeah. He just knocks X-Ray Alexander, kind of gives him that.
Oh, that's never good.
hey, that look right there, you don't want to see that from Greg Schiano. Woo.
Second 3 and out for this Rutgers offense tonight. Line drive punt. Picked up on the bounce by Boston, and he's down at the 40 after a 46-yard punt. Well, Washington, with its first lead of the night, has the offense coming back out on the field next. Jonah Coleman held to just 19 yards in the first half, but on the opening drive of this third quarter, his 12th rushing touchdown, which leads college football. And now with the lead, Robert, I imagine they're probably going to be getting him the football a lot more.
Yeah, that would be the smart thing to do. And speaking of smart, Jonah Coleman carries a 3.93 GPA. The semifinalist for the Campbell Trophy, which is the academic Heisman Trophy. I know my man Scotty Graham, the running back coach, is very proud of Jonah. Another one of those players that came over from Arizona with Jed Fish, Scotty Graham, and this staff here in Washington.
Scotty Graham has created such a competitive yet supportive culture in that running back room. Said those guys are always cheering one another on. Flea flicker on the opening play. Williams has nothing, makes the wise decision to take off, and he got shoved out of bounds by Abram Wright for a short 3-yard pickup.
Yeah, and for a young quarterback, you know, sometimes the throws that you don't make are the best decisions that you have in a day, especially when you have a trick play like a flea flicker. Sometimes quarterbacks, I think just psychologically, they think I need to try and take a chance on this thing, but he sees it as an open, and with his legs, like, okay, live to fight another down. They won that rep.
They want Williams to be taking some shots too, but that was the wise decision. Flips it out. That's caught. Quentin Moore, the second tight end, with an open seam down the sideline, and he's inside the 40 to move the chains after 19 yards.
Yeah, and Quentin Moore, coming into the game, only had that one reception against Ohio State, and they line him up on the edge of the line of scrimmage, and really just a nice call. He's really trying to be an influence on the end of the line of scrimmage. Rockman steps down as Moore steps down in that play, wide open into the flat.
Jed Fish called him the most under-the-radar player on this offense. Williams launches to Boston. It's a touchdown. His second tonight.
Sometimes it's just throwing the ball up and giving your guy a chance, especially when you've got a guy like Denzel Boston, 6'4", on the outside. Bo Masco trying to cover him up downfield. Damon Williams, though, sees it. Masco's way too far up top. Damon Williams gives him that underneath throw. And even if your guy doesn't come back and catch that one, so many times we see them get an interference call. Good decision by Williams.
Touchdown catches of 23 and 38 yards tonight for Denzel Boston. And this Washington offense has come to life in the last few drives.
Paranoid Android.
2 more receiving touchdowns tonight for Denzel Boston gives him 6, tied for the most in the Big Ten. And it's a 24-3 run for Washington since they fell behind 10-0. Rutgers has to have a response now, Robert.
Yeah, no question about it. And, you know, you got to give credit, though. You got to give credit to Ryan Walters, the defensive coordinator for Washington, in his first season. Of course, replacing Steve Belichick, who went to coach with his father down at North Carolina. He's done a tremendous job with these guys, and he said that they're really growing in to the system, getting more comfortable, and the volume of defense that he can call increases, and it gets geared more specifically to their opponent.
Kaliakmanis under pressure, eludes one, rolling right, fires down the sideline. That's caught by Ian Strong for a first down. That is making something out of nothing for Ethan Kaliakmanis.
Nice job avoiding the pressure, keeping calm. And that's what you see from Kaliakmanis, though. I think the thing that's most impressive about him is just subtle movement in the pocket, but you never really see the guy panic. And that's key to the quarterback position. You got to be the calmest guy when things are the worst around you.
Now he lost it into one-on-one coverage. He's looking for KJ Duff. It is batted, and a flag, it flies in at the end of the play.
Well, we saw an interference call earlier in the game that I wasn't.
Pass interference, defense number 7. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
I wasn't too crazy about the call in the first half against Sicario Davis. And to me, you see some pushing from Duff. Well, it looks like he may have grabbed him a little bit, but they were getting pretty physical. I don't see it. I mean, I'd love to hear Mike's opinion on that one.
Seventh penalty against Washington now, and the second time it's been defensive pass interference. Rutgers into Washington territory. Kaliakmanis floats it down the sideline to his running back, Antoine Raymond. Shakes away from 2. Touchdown Rutgers. 48 yards. Quick response for Rutgers.
It's a linebacker's worst nightmare, the dreaded wheel route out of the backfield, because you don't see this a lot from the running backs. And it's Devin Bryant who's going to be in the coverage, and you see so many times that the running back's going to be catching something that's that quick out. That linebacker turns to cover the out, and then a running back like Antoine Raymond gets upfield. Nice move after the catch. You can see why they wanted to take a shot with that young man.
Offense stays in the field. They're going to go for 2 to try to cut this to a field goal deficit. Trick play. Reverse. DT Sheffield throws. It's knocked away. Sheffield caught it, but he had nowhere to go. Sicario Davis slaps it out of the air to keep this a 5-point game.
Oh, he tried to hit Ethan Kaliakmanis on that one, but the Rutgers Scarlet Knights fighting their way back in that. White Zombie. Huskies get the ball when we get back.
Well, when the drive started, Robert, we said Rutgers needs a response. It took them 49 seconds to make that response.
Yeah, 2 plays, 75 yards. That's pretty good efficiency right there, but well, it's interesting. Maybe the beneficiaries of an interference call that shouldn't have been. Maybe a crown of the helmet out of the way into the end zone by Raymond that should have been. Let's see if we take a look at those. Maybe we might bring in the rules expert, Mike P.
Well, we do have Mike Pereira with us, and Mike, your thought on that potential pass interference call?
Unlike Robert, I kind of liked it. And the reason I liked it is because of right there, with his right arm, he pulls the left arm of the receiver to him. Referee has that exact look coming up the field, and so I really do like the call.
Mike, what did you think of the run in the end zone? I don't know if you saw the replay. It looked like Raymond, and I know it's so rare that they call this with the crown of the helmet right here.
The last time I saw an offensive player being called for targeting was 1949, the year before I was born. So that's just not one that we're ever going to see called on the offense.
You know, funny enough, Mike, I think that was Robert's freshman year of college. Have I got that right?
That's so great. You know, it's funny. We have this arrangement where I'm allowed to joke about how young you are, and you're allowed to joke about how little hair I have. Now you're throwing in age jokes. I don't like this whole arrangement. We're going back to the drawing board.
It's a very fair trade-off for me, I think. Second down. Williams throws against his body. It's Vines Bright with the catch, and he gets stood up just a yard shy of the line to gain. That's a nice open field tackle by Jet Elad.
Yeah, tremendous tackle by Elad, as you said, in the open field. And Vines Bright, another one of those true freshmen from guess where? Arizona, even though he played high school football down at the IMG Academy down in Bradenton, Florida.
Look at those numbers on Williams. 12 of his last 13, almost 300 yards since those first two drives. Rolls out, makes it another completion to Jonah Coleman for a first down, and he's across midfield. An elite pass-catching running back picks up 20, and there's a Rutgers defender down on the ground.
Well, you're going to go with
Player injury.
injured Scarlett Knight on the play. But I like the play call there. You bunch everybody up. You go 13 personnel, get three tight ends in the game to go with the one running back. They're expecting run, and you match personnel, so you get heavier personnel, and then you leak Jonah Coleman out to the flat.
Kaj Sanders, the second leading tackler for Rutgers. Sophomore from Newark, New Jersey, played for a powerhouse high school program in the state of New Jersey, Bergen Catholic, where he won 3 state titles.
Good to see him up, walking off the field under his own power.
It's now 13 of the last 14 for Devon Williams, who has such command of this offense. Only his 8th career start as a true sophomore.
False start, offense number 77, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
It's Max McCree. He's in for Carver Willis, who is the typical starting left tackle. That left side of the offensive line is a couple backups tonight for Jed Fish, as they're also without John Mills. First and 15. Muhammad straight up the gut, bouncing away from tackles, and he picks up all of that penalty yardage back and then an extra yard.
Yeah, normally we talk about those thunder and lightning combinations at running back. We got thunder and thunder part 2 with Coleman and Muhammad. Jonah Coleman, the starter, 5'9", 220 pounds, and Adam Muhammad, only 220 pounds, but a full 6 foot of running back.
Williams keeps it, spins, and then he got swung to the ground after a 1-yard pickup. Zaire Angoy, the stop for Rutgers to bring up 3rd and long.
Well, watch the way that he carries this ball. You know, we talk about points of pressure when you're carrying the football. You remember he had that fumble earlier in the game. He has really got to get better keeping that thing close to the side. And people talk about high and tight all the time. I'm not crazy about that as a concept. You really got to make sure that that ball stays tight to your side, especially in traffic.
Looks to throw on 3rd down, snaps it over the middle, pass is pulled in. It's Denzel Boston, but he's about 2 yards shy of the line to gain. But inside the 40, the offense looks like they might be staying on the field.
Well, they're going to go for it here on 4th down. And that offensive line, but those tight ends, you've seen those multiple tight end sets. The great thing about having those versatile tight ends is the ability to get those guys, leak them out. But here they're going to go 3 wides. I'm guessing they're handing this one off to Coleman.
Needs 2 yards. They're going to throw. Caught. 1st down. And more. Desmond Roebuck pushing the pile down to the 25 for 13 yards and a 4th down conversion.
Well, that's why I'm calling the games and not calling the plays, right? Roebuck, another one of those true freshmen, and you love the throw here in the situation on a 4th down from Damon Williams. And you know, it's interesting, and speaking to Jed Fish, and he kind of said, hey man, practice is like your driving range. You know, you got to figure out how you can hit guys, what guys are open. You know, further on that point, I think just kind of getting more comfortable. You know, first year as a full starter, you know, trying to figure out the difference between what covered or uncovered is. And certainly with Jed Fish and so many coaches on his staff with NFL experience, open in the NFL is favorable leverage, right? And you have to be able to take some chances, and that's something Jimmy Doherty, the offensive coordinator, talked about as well. They told Damon Williams, hey man, let it fly sometimes.
He lets it fly here, completes it. Decker to Graff, the tight end, lowers the shoulder and spins inside the 15. He's got a 1st down.
Well, and I love the delivery here. You love the guys that, you know, like a second baseman turning the double play. Watch the little dart here. Got to change the arm angle, but you love that quick release, understanding where your outlet is going to be. And Decker to Graff throwing a strike, as they like to say in the ALDS.
It's 11th inning last time I checked. Don't know where we're at now, but handoff. Coleman picks up a couple. Heading to the 12th. 2-2 tie, Tigers, Mariners, 6 miles down the street here in Seattle. One of the longer drives we've seen tonight for Washington. They have had some quick strike ability tonight, but it's been a lot of possessing the football here inside the red zone.
Coleman flanked out.
Fake it to him.
Screen.
Boston juggled, incomplete. Bo Masco with the coverage, just got a hand in there to prevent the touchdown.
Boy, I love the technique from Masco here. Watch him fight up through the hands. That's just tremendous technique, and that's what you expect with Greg Schiano, coach team, and Rob Smith as a defensive coordinator. David Rowe coaching those cornerbacks right. You fight through the hands of the wide receiver and compress that space. Don't give him an opportunity to pull that ball in.
3rd and 8. Williams, pocket collapsing, takes off. This is what he can do. Electrifying running ability for a touchdown. Third total touchdown for QB1.
Well, he's going to get a little bit loose with this football again. We saw him fumble inside the 10. He's carrying that thing far away from his body and gets a little spin. And Elad there got away with that one. Well, you love seeing the fire from the young QB. So dangerous with his legs and got away with a little bit of loose ball handling.
He's thrown for 359. He's now rushed for 99, and it's 3 total touchdowns tonight.
You see that ball get away from the frame of his body and get those extra defenders that are come in. That's when that thing gets knocked away. He gets in there with a little stare down. I got this. Gets a little moves. Celebrate with Jonah. Gotta eat, gotta eat.
A 12-play drive that took nearly 6.5 minutes off the clock. And from down 10-0 2 drives into this game, Washington has outscored Rutgers 31-9 since then on a 4th consecutive scoring drive for the Huskies. .253 to play third quarter. Ethan Kaliak-Manis and the Rutgers offense able to score on the last drive, but they're trading points with Washington right now, and that's not a good sign when you're down 2 scores.
Change again. So many of these checks have been to runs.
And it will be again to Raymond. Bouncing right side. Alex McLaughlin with the pursuit and a tackle in the backfield.
Again, Ryan Walters told us that Alex McLaughlin really has been the biggest surprise on this defense and mentioned exactly what happened there, triggering so early and confidently making the tackle in the alley.
Tempo. Kaliak-Manis takes the check down to Raymond, who can't slide away from the tackler, Asteen, but he does pick up 9, and it's 3rd and 1.
Yeah, going with the tempo here and trying to catch the defense off guard, and you're not substituting, giving them the opportunity.
Second time we've seen this. The keeper for Kaliak-Manis plunges across the line to gain for a 1st down.
Now just got to sustain it, and they've had some success getting that ball to Antoine Raymond. We know what he can do. See if Kirk Shiraka, the offensive coordinator, can get something dialed up here. Leak him out of the backfield, and as we saw already, he's dangerous with just about every route in the route tree getting upfield.
Kaliak-Manis looks to him again, threw it behind him, and it was nearly intercepted. Tacario Davis, who's almost had 3 picks tonight, just had almost another one.
Yeah, and Antoine Raymond looks like he's stopping the route a little bit early, and his feet kind of slide out from underneath him. And because of that, that ball, as you mentioned, partner, just flying right into Tacario Davis's hands. That's why he plays defense at 6'4".
Kaliak-Manis connects with his tight end. That's Colin Weber, who is swung to the ground at the 44. It's 8 yards and 2 yards to go.
Third down opportunity. Watch the legs of Kaliak-Manis here.
It's the arm as he zips it to the sideline to DT Sheffield. Another Rutgers 3rd down conversion.
Sheffield just quick as a hiccup. You see him lining up in the slot. He's got tremendous lateral movement and burst out of his breaks. And with the confidence that Kaliak-Manis has and the timing in the pocket, he gets that thing out of there so quickly. Great anticipation and accuracy from Kaliak-Manis.
Taking what the defense has given him, too. A lot of short routes, but it's resulted in some first downs. This one over the middle is another first down. Back-to-back for the Scarlet Knights. 17 yards to Ian Strong.
When Kirk Shiraka, the offensive coordinator for Rutgers, and Greg Schiano, they just couldn't say enough good things about Kelly McManus, and you can see why they raved about him.
Looking left, going through his progressions, rolls right, pumps, and then throws it away.
Well, they rave about him because it's not just his understanding of the offense, but it's his poise in the pocket. It's his confidence, it's his anticipation, it's his delivery, really the total package. This is a tremendous drive and exactly what they need with the momentum that the Huskies have had.
Said he's incredibly intentional in his prep, always asking questions, taking notes at team meetings, rarely makes poor decisions. 2nd and 10. Pass is caught by his running back Raymond, his 4th catch out of the backfield. He's got 6 yards.
This is the end of the 3rd quarter.
Well, we're in this together now, 9-inch nails. Gotta love it. We're gonna head to the 4th. Scarlet Knights with an opportunity to keep this thing close.
A busy and fun night in Seattle. ALDS Game 5 is still going strong in the 12th inning. And here at Husky Stadium, a 3-touchdown 3rd quarter for Washington has put them up 31-19 in a game that has seen almost 900 combined yards. That's pretty good, I think.
More than half a mile.
10th play of the drive. Kelly McManus throws it behind his intended target, and X-Ray Alexander put a hit on Ian Strong.
Well, you called it, partner. Just the throw just a little bit behind him because Strong has to reach back there, not able to bring that thing in cleanly. He's able to bring that thing in cleanly, probably able to absorb that blow a little bit better. He's got his body all contorted.
4th quarter, 2-score game, a given that the offense is staying on the field. A field goal wouldn't even bring it back to 1 possession. Pass is pulled in across the 25 by KJ Duff. He knew exactly where the line to gain was.
Boy, and Kelly McManus, no hesitation, gets to the top of his drop, delivers a laser. A nice job by his 6'6" wide receiver pulling it in.
Kelly McManus with protection, batted down at the line. Terrio Thompson swats it down to bring up 2nd and 10.
And Terrio Thompson, that's his 2nd pass breakup of the season. Had one a week ago against Maryland as well. And you know, that's the thing, especially with these guys, they don't get an opportunity, those big fellas, they don't get an opportunity to rotate. They're a little bit gassed on a drive like this. Say, I'm not going to get home, but I'll get those paws up and try and knock one of those things down.
Kelly McManus snaps it over the middle. It's caught by Weber, the tight end, and he plunges down to the 14. It's a 3rd and 2 coming up for Rutgers.
A nice play designed by Kirk Shiraka, the offensive coordinator. Gets Weber blocking initially, late release.
They go tempo, handoff, Raymond. Stacked up right at the 12. That is the line to gain. We'll see if it's 4th down or if they give him enough. Signal is 4th down.
Well, we've seen Kelly McManus sneak a number of times. Looks like they're bringing in some extra beef here. We got John Stone and Terrence Salami coming in. We got beef and salami.
Love it. Tush push.
Good luck. Right foot, left foot.
They mark him at the 12.
Yeah.
And
oh, yeah. They're bringing the sticks. Don't pull guys off the pile. The flag for that.
It is a first down.
Not taking the foot off of the pedal.
16th play of the drive. Kaliakmanis holds onto it, dumps it off to his tight end, Weber, who is met immediately by Devin Bryant.
Yeah, really a nice job of this Husky defense. And, you know, what you kind of felt there, they were going to go with the tempo, short passes, get run, get a little bit of run action on that last one. And he's trying to hit the corner route. They cover it up nicely. He has to throw underneath for the short gain.
Raymond threw it to him before he turned around, wasn't ready for it, it's incomplete.
Yeah. Mikel Esteen comes down there. He really, look, he could have had an opportunity for an interception there. Big third down, but again, certainly 4 down territory. Well, do you take the points here? I think you might have to. Make it a 1-score game. You don't want to go down 2 scores here, but
third and 10, Kaliakmanis to the end zone, incomplete. Was looking for Ian Strong. Ephesians Prysock had the coverage, and it's 4th down.
Prysock, we've seen him make so many plays tonight, and does a nice job kind of hanging back on that one. Doesn't get the contact too early.
They've converted 1 4th down in this drive already. The 19th play of the drive. Kaliakmanis spits it out to Raymond. Tries to lean for the first down. He can get a first down without the touchdown, but he didn't get it. About a yard shy, and it's a turnover on downs. A 19-play drive that results in no points for Rutgers. A 3-touchdown third quarter for Washington, plus the defense just got a stop inside the 5, and the Huskies have the football back up 2 scores now.
Yeah, and that was huge. The stop on 4th down, and by reckless math, they needed to go there on 4th down, down 12. Field goal, still down 2 scores.
Damon Williams to throw after a great third quarter, lofting it down the sideline to Amari Evans. Big gain on the first play of the drive for the Huskies. 32 yards.
Jacoby Henderson must have gotten his eyes into the backfield. Allows Evans to get all kinds of separation. And with that speed, he's able to get away. Huge gain, and they get out of that hole deep in their own zone.
Cut from Coleman, charges down to the 40 for 5 yards.
That's a good play call by Jimmy Doherty, the offensive coordinator, the first play of the drive, because, you know, in those coming out situations deep in your own territory, the defense so often is expecting just conservative calls, run, fake action to the left, and then hit Evans on the big gainer, give you some breathing room. Now you pound it.
They keep it on the ground. Coleman sliding away from one. He's got a first down, an 8-yard pickup to move the chains.
Still a little bit of creativity in the run, though. get your tight end coming back across the formation. And of course, this Washington team at Michigan a week from now. Get some things on video, get the defensive coordinator up in Michigan sweating a little bit.
Completes the pass. Across midfield, down to the 45. That's a 7-yard pickup for Quentin Moore, who entered the game with just 1 catch on the season. He's got 2 tonight.
Yeah, and you mentioned it earlier, partner. You know, they talked about Quentin Moore and said, you know, he could be a great Y tight end in the NFL at some point. Jed Fish has seen that pass blocking ability, but really emerging as a receiving threat as well. He's got good feet for a big man, 6'5", 260 pounds. Another one, Washington State product.
Give to Coleman, stutter step, and he's tripped up right at the 42. That is where the first down is by Abram Wright. And it's enough to move the chains again on a great time-killing drive for Washington.
Big substitution along that entire front for Rutgers. Those guys get gassed. Those big bodies in there. You get a drive like this. Rather than attacking the offensive line, they're attacking you with that physical run.
Play action. Williams with a pocket collapsing, shakes away. Open space. Williams cutting left side and sandwiched down at the 12 as he goes well over 100 on the ground with a pickup of 30.
What I love at the end of the run here is that Williams covers this thing up. You're going to see that second hand go over the ball. He understands. Got a little traffic coming my way. 2 hands in traffic. Yoink, protected. Good finish.
Jet sweep. Lawson, right side, got a block from Coleman, and he slips down just shy of the 5. But he stays in bounds and keeps that clock winding down to 7.5 minutes.
Boy, this is a tough spot if you're the Rutgers defense. It's demoralizing. As people often say, when an opposing offense can run the football seemingly at will, you know, really the only thing that you can do at that point is try and get extra bodies up at the line of scrimmage. But every body that you put in the front is an extra body that you don't have on the back end. Looks like they're going zero coverage here. All one-on-one matchups.
Caps, Williams hurdles into the end zone. A potential dagger for DeMond Williams Jr.
QB run, the great equalizer down in the red zone. You bring those extra bodies, trying to get a numbers advantage, and then you have a mobile QB. Receivers doing their job blocking on the outside. DeMond Williams almost making it look easy, though he may have a little sore hip after that one and the little hurdle and kind of losing his balance mid-air.
What a second half it's been for DeMond Williams Jr. in Washington. He becomes just the 16th quarterback in FBS history to go over 400 yards passing and 100 rushing. Good news for Washington is you're up 19 on a career night for DeMond Williams. Bad news is he's holding that shoulder and collarbone area and just went into the medical tent with Kai Horton, the backup quarterback, warming up now. And it was earlier in that last drive too, Robert, that it looked like he got up and was moving that shoulder around a little bit.
Yeah, on the longer run that got them down inside the 10-yard line, as he's covering that ball up, goes to the ground, got up awkwardly, kind of messing with his shoulder, moving it around. He did score the touchdown, but went straight to the 10. With the Wolverines a week from now, certainly want him to have an opportunity to get healthy.
And here's a look back at that play it might have happened on.
Ends the run here. That right shoulder certainly looks like it gets driven into the ground. I guess he just came out of the tent. And you can see him working it a little bit.
Yep.
Good sign, and there's no reason to risk it. We saw Kai Horton, who's already gotten some snaps this year, warming up on the sideline. Don't expect to see Williams again.
A 3-score lead. Ethan Kaliak-Manis is swarmed in the backfield. Taitai Uyunglele, 3rd sack tonight for Washington's defense.
And we've seen Taitai Uyunglele earlier in this game. He's a force in that middle.
Kaliak-Manis takes off, and he got tripped up. Did get the yardage back from the sack and a couple more, but it was Ontario Thompson who just got a hand in there to trip him up. Kaliak-Manis dropped. There is a flag.
It's like Isaiah Ward got the quick start off the edge.
Offside defense, number 91, 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
Just like, watch the ball. I'm timing this thing up, baby. I think I got this cadence all figured out. That's why quarterbacks change that cadence. You can see Ryan Walters over there on the sideline. Hold your water, big man. Keep an eye on that ball.
Give to Raymond. Bouncing off tacklers. He's still on his feet. Dips down to the 34, and he's about a half-yard shy of the line to gain.
Of course, the offense is going to stay in the field. You see big Colin Weber coming into the ball game. Go 3 wides here.
Raymond stacked up, got away though, and just enough to go across the line to gain.
Boy, what a tremendous effort from Antoine Raymond, because Devin Bryant, linebacker, he's going to get a hold of him behind the line of scrimmage. You see Bryant the whole way here. He's watching this thing, and he's watching for the spill from Raymond. And the great thing about the job there from Raymond is he didn't have great balance coming off the edge. He was in an awkward position, but kept those legs moving.
Kaliak-Manis drops it off. Weber, the tight end, gets clipped down at the 42. Give him 6 yards. Kaliak-Manis spits it out to the sideline. DT Sheffield is pushed out of bounds. It is a 1st down for Rutgers. Season high 6 catches tonight for DT Sheffield now. This Rutgers offense has got to go. Dumps it off. Raymond can't quite slide away from one tackler. He picks up 9, and it's 2nd and short.
Yeah, what did Jed Fish say about all of those hard practices? This is why those hard practices pay off. Testing the strength and conditioning.
Kaliak-Manis had nowhere to go with it, and he dips down. He does move the chains. But with just north of 3 minutes to go, this Washington defense is going to allow 2-yard runs the entire time if Rutgers wants to take those. Kaliak-Manis caught. Raymond out of the backfield. This is the kind of thing, Robert, you'll take this on a drive in the first and second quarter, but down what you are with 2.5 minutes to go, 5-yard gains in the pass play is not going to do anything.
No, it's not going to do it. I mean, you're down 3 scores. You got to take a shot at the end zone here.
Kaliak-Manis will, lofting it down the sideline. That's pulled in. KJ Duff with the catch, with the defensive back all over him.
And that's Prysock again. Ephesians Prysock. Those two have kind of been going at it today. A nice job from Duff. Strong hands.
Raymond ripped down. Deshaun Lynch got to Raymond before the line of scrimmage, and it brings us to the 2-minute timeout. Washington just 2 minutes away from moving to 5-1 on the season. (38-19) Washington with 1:57 to go. Came back from down 20 last week to beat Maryland. It was only 10 this week, and it was much earlier in the game this time around for Jed Fish's team. But the second half that they put together was quite impressive, with 5 straight scoring drives to pull away after halftime.
Yeah, it certainly was. And what a performance we've seen today. Devon Williams, we saw him go into the tent. Little soreness in that right arm area. He came back out. And here we see Scarlet Knights trying to get some more points on the board.
Matters for some. Pass is picked off in the end zone. Ephesians Prysock, who made play after play tonight, comes down with the interception.
Is it the 4th time is the charm? Ephesians Prysock had an opportunity for some interceptions early in this one, but he makes the one to seal the victory for the Huskies.
What a night for Devon Williams in this Washington offense. He's the first Washington quarterback ever and just the 16th in FBS history to throw for 400 and run for 100. It has been a night to remember for the sophomore quarterback. And he gets to line up in victory formation. After being down at halftime, Washington used 5 straight scoring drives to pull away and win this by 19.
Yeah, and it was interesting in talking to Jed Fish, the flight across the country to play Maryland a week ago after a loss to Ohio State where they really felt that they had some opportunities. And he said, you know, it was almost a case where we let Ohio State beat us 2 weeks in a row. They certainly came out flat against Maryland, not taking anything away from what is a really good Maryland football team, who we're going to call next week at UCLA.
Time for Williams. Throws against Williams. 400 through the air, 100 on the ground, 4 total touchdowns. And that came after a really slow first 2 drives as well, where he started just 2 for 6.
See, just a tremendous all-around player. And, you know, they really had a smart plan with him, too. You know, they worked him in gradually as a freshman a year ago, and then in the bowl game has a big day and a big win today here at home. No rest for the weary. They get Michigan, at Michigan a week from now, and of course Rutgers They're going to be playing Oregon in Piscataway.
Back-to-back double-digit comeback wins for Washington. Down 20 last week, down 10 this week. They moved to 5-1 overall, 2-1 in the Big Ten, with their only loss coming to the #1 team in the nation, Ohio State. And this is a Washington team that's looking really good the last couple weeks.
Yeah, they certainly are. And again, in talking to Jed Fish and kind of how they've developed, you know, I asked him if he was surprised at how fast things have turned around with the program, being 6-7 a year ago. And certainly it's a long way to go this season, but he said, you know, if it wasn't for a lot of the players that we brought with us, and, you know, in this era of the portal and NIL, you know, it's still going to be about recruiting players that you can develop and keep, which isn't always easy, but some of the transfers that they brought with them from Arizona and the recruits that they had when they were at Arizona are a big reason why Jed Fish feels that they're sitting at 5-1 today.
38-19 winners tonight for Washington. They take down Rutgers. Start your Saturday with a bang. #1 Ohio State rolls into Big Noon with phenoms Jeremiah Smith and Julian Sayin leading the charge against 17th ranked Illinois. It all starts with Big Noon kickoff back in Champaign. Then it's Ohio State and Illinois, only on Fox. Well, a big thank you to our producer, Brad Weimer, our director, Dustin Denty, and the rest of our phenomenal Fox Sports crew. For Robert Smith, spotter Zach Hoffner, statistician Russ DeLynn, I'm Noah Reed saying good night from Seattle, where Washington wins at 38-19 over Rutgers. Join us for Big Noon at Champaign tomorrow.